Maya, a kind black woman in her late 20s, boarded the big plane with a smile. She loved flying, but today she was very tired. She found her seat near the window, put on her blanket, and quickly closed her eyes. Around her, people were chatting, eating snacks, or scrolling on their phones. The sky outside was calm, painted in orange by the setting sun. Nobody on that flight knew what was coming. The air smelled normal, the crew smiled, and everything felt safe. Maya dreamed sweetly, never expecting her sleep would be broken by fear. Suddenly, a loud voice from the captain's cabin came on. The speakers cracked, and Captain Harris, the pilot, spoke in a trembling voice. "Ladies and gentlemen, we have a serious problem." People froze in their seats. Mothers held their children tighter. Some men looked around nervously. "Is there any fighter pilot on board?" he asked loudly. The words shocked everyone. A fighter pilot? Why would the captain need one? Murmurs filled the cabin. Maya was still asleep, unaware of the chaos rising around her. People whispered, "Is this a joke?" Others prayed silently. A man stood up, "Captain, what's wrong?" But no answer came yet. The plane shook slightly, like a warning of danger hiding in the clouds. Maya slowly opened her eyes. She rubbed her forehead, confused by the whispers and gasps. She saw people looking scared, some pointing at the cockpit door. "What's going on?" she asked the woman beside her. "The captain said he needs a fighter pilot," the woman whispered back. Maya blinked in surprise. "Why would he need that?" she asked. But no one knew the truth. She sat up straight, heart beating faster. Something was wrong. Maya could feel it. She looked around and saw children crying, their parents trying to calm them. Fear was spreading fast. She knew this was no dream anymore. Something dangerous was close. The speakers cracked again. This time, Captain Harris sounded more serious. "We have spotted an unknown aircraft following us. It may not be safe." Gasps spread like fire. "We need someone with military flying experience in case things go bad," he added. People couldn't believe their ears. An unknown aircraft? Following them? Some passengers looked out of the windows, trying to spot it. Fear grew. Maya's stomach tightened. She had flown many times, but never faced something like this. She thought about her family waiting for her at home. She whispered a prayer, gripping the armrest tight. Something very big was about to happen. Chaos began in the cabin. A man shouted, "Are we in danger?" Another shouted, "Tell us what's going on!" The flight attendants tried to calm people, but even they looked pale. A baby cried loudly. Maya felt her hands sweat. She wanted to stay calm, but her heart raced. Then she remembered something about herself that few people knew. Years ago, she had trained as a fighter pilot in the Air Force. She had quit after a serious accident, promising never to fly again. But now her past was calling her back. Could she really do this again? Could she save everyone? Maya closed her eyes for a moment. Her memories came rushing back, her days in the cockpit, flying at lightning speed, controlling powerful jets. She had been one of the best. But one accident during training changed everything. She had survived, but her teammate had not. Since then, she never returned to the skies as a pilot. She became just an ordinary traveler. But this was no ordinary day. She heard the captain's voice again, more desperate. "Please, if there is any fighter pilot on board, we need your help." Maya's hands trembled. She didn't want to reveal her past, but lives were at stake. Passengers near the window shouted, pointing outside. Maya looked too. In the distance, a dark shape floated in the sky, following their plane. It was not another passenger plane. Its body looked sharp, almost military-like. Fear spread faster now. "What is it?" People asked each other. Nobody knew. Captain Harris spoke again. "We cannot contact that aircraft. We don't know its purpose." Maya's chest tightened. She had studied enemy aircraft in the past, and this one looked dangerous. She could no longer hide? She took a deep breath and stood up. The people near her stared as if asking silently, "Are you the one?" Maya's legs felt heavy, but her courage grew stronger. She walked toward the front of the plane. The flight attendants tried to stop her, but she whispered, "I'm trained for this." Their eyes widened. They quickly let her pass. All eyes in the cabin followed her steps. Whispers spread. "She's a pilot. She's going to help." Maya knocked on the cockpit door. A moment later, it opened, and Captain Harris looked at her with tired eyes. Are you really? He asked. Maya nodded. Yes, I was a fighter pilot once. Tell me what's happening. His relief showed instantly. Thank God, he whispered. The cockpit, glowing buttons and screens filled the space. The co-pilot looked pale, sweat running down his face. We can't shake them off, he muttered. On the radar, a red dot stayed too close to their plane. Maya sat beside Captain Harris. The old memories returned. Her hands almost automatically reached for the controls. Don't worry, she said softly. I know what to do. Harris explained, if they try to attack, we're defenseless. But maybe you can guide us through. Maya nodded firmly. She had no jet, no weapons, only skill, courage, and hope. She had to outsmart whoever was behind that shadow. The plane tilted slightly as she tested the movements. Gasps filled the cabin behind her. She spoke calmly. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Maya, a trained fighter pilot. Please stay calm. I will do my best to protect us. Her voice was strong, giving hope to scared hearts. Then she made her first maneuver, dipping the plane slightly to the right. The shadow outside moved too, following them. That confirmed it. It wasn't just a random plane. It was targeting them. Harris looked at her nervously. What do we do? Maya stared at the dark shape outside. We fight smart. Nears, the unknown aircraft drew closer. Passengers pressed their faces to the windows, fear etched on every face. It's coming! Someone screamed. Maya stayed calm. She had faced danger before. She knew panic would only make things worse. She spoke to Harris. Stay steady. Follow my lead. The plane shook as turbulence hit, but Maya kept her focus. Suddenly, the strange aircraft flashed its lights. Was it a signal? Or a warning? Maya narrowed her eyes. They're testing us, she whispered. She pulled the plane into a sudden dive, making stomachs drop. The shadow followed again. Now it was clear. The enemy wanted them. As the plane steadied, Maya's mind flashed back to her old commander's words. A good pilot never flies with fear. She flies with focus. Those words gave her courage. She looked at Harris. We can outsmart them. But it won't be easy. Harris trusted her. He had no other choice. The co-pilot nodded too, though his hands trembled. Behind them, the passengers prayed, held hands, and hoped Maya could save them. The enemy plane drew even closer, its shadow covering their windows. Children cried. Maya's eyes hardened. They think we're weak, she said. But we are not. This was only the beginning. A sudden beep filled the cockpit. The radar showed another dot, 2 enemy planes now. Maya's jaw tightened. It's not 1. It's 2. Fear gripped Harris. Can we survive this? Maya didn't answer right away. She adjusted the controls and spoke. If we panic, we lose. If we stay sharp, we have a chance. She tilted the plane left sharply. The passengers screamed, but the maneuver threw the chasing planes off balance for a moment. It bought them time. You see, Maya said, they are fast, but they don't expect us to fight back smart. Harris nodded, finally believing in her. The enemy planes regrouped quickly. This time, one moved to block the front while the other stayed behind. They're trapping us, the co-pilot muttered. Maya thought fast. She could not fight them with weapons. She could only outfly them. The sky grew darker as clouds gathered. Thunder rumbled far away. Maya smiled faintly. The storm could be her weapon. We head into the storm, she decided. Harris hesitated. That's dangerous. Maya's eyes blazed. So is staying here. She pulled the plane upward toward the clouds. Lightning flashed ahead. The passengers screamed again. But Maya knew. This was their only chance. The plane shook wildly as they entered the storm. Rain hit the windows like bullets. Lightning cracked across the sky. The passengers held on to their seats tightly. Some prayed loudly. Harris looked at Maya. Can you handle this? She nodded without doubt. She tilted the plane sharply, weaving between black clouds. Behind them, the enemy planes followed, but less steady. Thunder roared, shaking the skies. One enemy plane suddenly dipped too low and vanished into the storm. One down, Maya whispered. Hope sparked in her heart. But the second enemy was still there, chasing fiercely. The fight was far from over. The storm grew wilder. Maya's arms ached from holding the controls steady. The plane jolted hard, making everyone scream. The enemy aircraft stayed close, flashing bright lights as if taunting them. Maya gritted her teeth. She couldn't give up now. She guided the plane lower, closer to the cloud's edge. The enemy followed recklessly. "Steady," she whispered to herself. Then, with perfect timing, she tilted sharply and climbed high again. The enemy plane missed the move, lost control, and vanished into the storm. The passengers cheered wildly. Harris shouted, "You did it!" But Maya knew the danger was not fully gone yet. The storm faded slowly as they flew out into calmer skies. The passengers clapped and cried with joy. Harris smiled at Maya with deep respect. "You saved us," he said. But Maya shook her head. "Not yet. We don't know if there are more." For a long moment, the radar showed nothing but silence. The cabin filled with relief, laughter, and tears. Children hugged their parents. People whispered Maya's name like she was a hero. She felt warmth in her chest, something she hadn't felt since her Air Force days. Maybe she hadn't lost her courage after all. But something still felt unfinished. Just when everyone relaxed, the radio crackled. A strange, deep voice spoke. "This was only a warning. Next time you will not escape." The cabin fell silent again. Harris froze, and the co-pilot stared in fear. Maya leaned closer to the radio. "Who are you?" she demanded. But the voice did not answer. The signal cut off suddenly, leaving only static. Everyone looked at Maya for answers, but she had none. Her heart raced again. This was bigger than one flight. Someone out there wanted to send a message, and she had just stepped into their game. The story was not over. Maya guided the plane smoothly toward the runway. The passengers held their breath as the wheels touched down safely. Cheers erupted as the plane slowed to a stop. People clapped, cried, and thanked her again and again. Maya smiled faintly, but her mind was still heavy with the mysterious warning. Harris shook her hand tightly. "You are a hero," he said. She looked at him and replied softly, "Heroes don't sleep. They stay ready." She walked out of the cockpit as cameras flashed and news reporters waited. Maya's life would never be the same. The world called her a hero, but Maya knew the truth. This was just the beginning of something bigger. The shadowy planes, the strange message, the mysterious enemy, none of it was random. Someone was watching, waiting. Maya looked up at the night sky and whispered, "If you come again, I'll be ready." Her heart no longer carried the old fear. She was once a fighter pilot, and now she was one again. The passengers she saved would never forget her. And Maya would never forget that moment when she woke from sleep, only to rise as the hero the world needed.